Hey everyone. Once again, I have not written a newsletter, and that's okay. I don't feel like it. Um, but I just been drawing, and frankly, I prefer it to writing anyway. So, and also this time around, I'm not really doing a warm up per se. It's more of a cool down, I guess. Like I've been at it since this morning, and frankly, I'm a little drawn out, and when I feel like this, I don't want to say I double down on drawing, but I want to find I don't want to leave the drawing table with a negative feeling. If that makes any sense. Like I want to be able to come back tomorrow morning feeling like something came of today other than just drawing for drawing's sake, which is a little what illustrations can feel like sometimes. Um, like you're just drawing because you have to as a job. So sometimes I will just end a session just kind of freestyling, like doing stuff that I don't have a plan for, which is very, very different from my illustration work. I probably plan that stuff too much. So these warm ups or these cool downs are a nice way to sort of decompress. So yeah, it just looks like a mess. It's because it kind of is, and that's the point. As I said, there's no plan to this. I'm just, you know, as I decompress, as I sort of get out of the headspace I was in, while working on my various assignments. Um, I just need to run a different program. I get so hyper focused, especially lately. It's been a mix of covers and then my own image book. Sometimes when if I'm just doing, say, interiors or just covers, um, I will get into this kind of routine where it feels like, sorry, I'm trying to think of a way to word it where it doesn't make me sound like a hack, but I get into this routine where I'm just almost doing it on autopilot. And sometimes I will need to do these sort of cool down sketches to get out of that mental space. Um, Other times, like now, I'm bouncing around between various projects and you never really feel like you get a rhythm. And when I'm working like that, I will often lean on technique and probably a little bit of like over analyzing the work I'm doing. So I'll start to uh, maybe overwork the various things I'm doing, especially covers. Like I will really overthink those. And so I just need to be able to leave that kind of drawing behind and reset so that the next day, tomorrow when I get back to it, I haven't left the studio in sort of a negative space, headspace. Um, with this job, you spend a lot of time alone. You sort of spend a lot of time. In a way, it's kind of vain, right? You're spending a lot of time just thinking about yourself and your work, which feels toxic to me. I think it's fine to think about one's work, um, but if I'm in the headspace where I'm thinking about myself a little too much, it doesn't feel good. So I really need sometimes to do these kind of cool down sketches where I'm no longer in the headspace where I'm thinking, okay, this has got to look good. Is this in proportion? Is the anatomy right? Do things work? Once I get to this point, I'm making a mess of this almost on purpose. I don't care that if it's quote unquote right, if it's correct, if the proportions are right, if it looks realistic, if it looks in the correct style, anything like that. I'm not thinking at all in those terms. Um, I just want to, I want to rewire my drawing brain so that I feel better about the day's work. Um, yeah, and that's for me. A lot of the battle is like, how do I feel about the work once I've left the studio? If I get to the point where this feels like a chore and it's just a job that I have to get to every day, um, that's not a good recipe for success and making good work. In terms of medium, I'm just using a red watercolor. What a size? What number brush is this? Number 14. That's a Kolinsky Sable brush for watercolors, and this zebra ballpoint pen. So nothing exotic. Um, Frankly, I'm just using a watercolor because I just want to. I want to move fast, and I can make a mess and drop a bunch of watercolor down, just and not think too much about the actual method in which I'm doing it. You know, I think so often illustrators we're working on things that are for something, right? Like this is for this project or for this client. Um, and I really need to get away from that to stay sane for my own sake. I've been very lucky. I'm not. This is not a complaint in terms of taking client work because I've always been lucky in that I like the folks I work with. Um, and there's nothing wrong with doing illustration work, but for me, I've always needed a mix of doing client work and then letting go and doing things of my own, whether it be this kind of freestyle drawing or working on creator owned projects of my own that I can sort of not have to cooperate with people. You know, like being a professional illustrator, you have to be cooperative. You have to work within another person's parameters. You have to be collaborative, right? Like you're not the only person making the work. Um, but once I'm done with that work, I can get onto my own thing and just ignore all that and get away from people, you know, having a say, having input. I'll try a different pen here. Used to sketch. I have this sketchbook where, like I've probably mentioned before, each of my sketchbooks has a job. So there's the warm up sketchbooks. There's uh, the more figurative study sketchbook. This one is more for just playing around with design ideas. Not. It's probably more in line with back when I was in art school and being a painter. Um, just at a very small scale. So it's where I make messes that eventually sometimes become ideas because there's something there, you know. as I get deeper into my career, I find that like the one thing I'm starting to value above all else is really the freedom to not be cooperative, to not share like any part of the experience, which is probably a little ironic considering I'm sharing all this like sketching and bullshitting with you guys. But I mean in the sense of like letting anyone outside of the studio have a say in anything, you know? Like I think editorial is hugely important. Even on my creator own book, I hired some editors to help just keep me on the straight and narrow. So it's not to say that I don't want input. It just feels so often that, especially in comics, like so much of what we do is for others. Um, like obviously we get to choose what projects we do or want to do. Um, but it still always feels like it's coming down to like letting someone have a say in what you're doing, um, outside of yourself and your small little group of people. Like, and that's the nature of taking gigs. Like, it's again not a complaint. If you take a gig, by its very nature, you're doing it for someone. So, Yep. You, Mike. So anyway, I probably mentioned earlier. I was thinking of these two sketches kind of going together. It's got two halves of the same quote. Um, so yeah. I'm thinking this is done. I'm feeling better. Uh, yeah, I think this is it. There's no real plan, like I said, so it's just kind of done when it's done. Um, but I say that as I break out yet more tools to. Oh, luckily, you know what? That's fate telling me, let it go, stupid. All right, so that's it. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for joining. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening as I ramble on alone in my studio, just thinking about art all the time. Um, yeah, I need to stop. All right. Thanks everybody. If you're not already a subscriber, subscribe because I've been doing this almost every week now. I also write a monthly column about art and drawing and all that stuff. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Talk to you soon. Bye.